Yes! Where's the snake?
On the table.
Is it? Yes, it's a Burmese python. It's a Burmese python.
There we go. All right, hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hello. Do we have any returning guests? Have you been to the amphitheater tonight already? No.
Yeah.
Some of you have, some of you haven't. Well, welcome to the Stanley Family Amphitheater, and right now we have Prince. Prince is an albino Burmese python.
I knew it was a Burmese python.
He is about 26 years old. He is 12 and a half feet long and weighs about 75 pounds. Now, how many of you guys out here love snakes?
Actually, yeah. Yes.
Alright, excellent. That's awesome. Because a lot of times
My mom would have a heart
people
attack seeing
don't
that.
like snakes. And I understand that. They're a very interesting and odd animal. And just for any of you here for the owl.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
Owl, you guys were here. I remember seeing you guys.
Yeah.
So just like with the owl that we had out, there's a lot of misconceptions, misunderstandings, myths about snakes, and that's usually why people don't like them. They just don't understand them. So what we're going to do tonight with Prince is help you guys to understand snakes a little bit better. So that way, those of you that might not like them the most,
My mom would have a panic attack seeing that.
Okay? So you're pointing. We must have someone over here that doesn't like snakes. Yeah? All right. Well, I promise you, Prince is going to stay there. We're not going to be chasing anybody around with any snakes tonight. That's not our job. We're not going to do that.
Are you fighting
One
at
of the
me?
first things that people ask us
Bully.
with snakes is they want to know if Prince is slimy, right? A lot of people think snakes are slimy.
Nope.
No.
Anybody think snakes are slimy? No, everyone's shaking their head. Well, that's good. But there are some people that do think that. And
I can look at him. He don't
no,
look
Prince
at me.
is not slimy at all.
No,
The
they're more
reason
like
that they look like they might be
That's
slimy is
toads
just
and
because their
frogs.
scales
Yeah.
glisten in the sun.
Actually,
It
not
just
really
reflects
frogs.
light.
Toads are kind of dry
It gives them the appearance
They're
of
actually
being
more
slimy,
smooth
but it's just
textured.
their skin. It would be
toads
a
more bumpy
horrible
and frogs are
adaptation
more
for a
smooth?
snake if they had
No, I'm
slimy
talking about
skin.
snakes.
Because then, as they're trying to move around on the ground or the trees, depending on the type of snake it is, everything would be sticking to them. And so that is not a very good adaptation. So, no, snakes are not
Wait,
slimy.
my mom would be freaking
Now, I
out
don't know,
seeing
some
that.
of you might, now that he's facing you guys can see his tongue flicking, right?
His
A
Jacobson's
lot of
organ?
people think that when they're flicking their tongue out, it means he's going to bite you.
No.
No, he is not going. That does not mean
He's
is
just
going
sensing
to bite.
around his environment.
Does anyone know what they're doing when they're sticking their tongue out?
Face
Oh, what? Yeah, go for it. Let it out. Let it out. No? Go ahead. No?
I don't want to feel like a
It's a
nerd.
way of smelling, yes. It is exactly right. Snakes
He's using the
smell
Jacobson's
with
organ
their
for gathering
tongue.
information
Not
about
with their
around the
nose.
environment.
They do have what are called hairs, but that is not how they
You were
smell.
gonna go that?
They smell with their
Yeah.
Go ham.
There's
No,
a
no.
there's a
Go be a
special
nerd so you
organ
can
on
be
the
a nerd.
inside of their mouth called a Jacobson's organ.
No.
Now this little organ acts like a little computer. It analyzes information that the snake gets from the air. So they stick their tongue out, and air molecules will stick to their tongue. And then when the snake puts the tongue back in the mouth, that little organ, like I said, acts like a little computer. It analyzes those air molecules and can give the snake a lot of information. It can tell them the type of environment they're in. It can tell them if there is an animal nearby.
He's
and
just
if
like,
it's
I
something
wanna
that
go
they
down.
might eat, or if it's something that they need to hide from or get away from. So it's a really nifty little adaptation that they have in order to help them survive. But the tongue flicking out is not an indication that he would want to bite.
He like, I want to move, guys. Come
Now,
on.
snakes shed their skin throughout their entire life. Shedding is a way for us to be able to tell that the snake is growing. Now, Burmese pythons can reach, females can reach lengths of over 20 feet, and they can be, females could be about between 100 and 200 pounds. Okay, so these are big animals. But they will grow throughout their entire lives. That is why they shed their skin. Unlike us, who our skin grows with us, theirs does not. They have to replace their skin as they grow. Now, Prince at this size probably sheds about once a month or so, but when they're younger, their growth rate is much faster, so they do tend to shed more often.
Prince like,
Now, how
please, I
many of you,
want
are
to
you
move.
guys all from Florida? Yeah, Florida
Yep.
natives? So we're very familiar with the Burmese python, right?
An invasive
They've been in the news
species.
quite a bit. Yeah. The Burmese python is an invasive species here in South Florida. The reason is, for whatever reason their population has been established, pick whatever multitude of reasons you would like. The reason that they do so well here is because the environment here is very similar to their natural habitat. So they do very, very well here. And these snakes, like I said, they're very large. They can have a very large clutch of eggs, about 40 to 60 eggs in a single clutch.
That's all our babies.
Now, even if not every single one of those babies hatches out and survives, that's still a lot of new snakes in an environment, right? Now, Prince is an albino. That means he lacks the darker pigmentation that a natural phase Burmese python would have. Typically, a Burmese python is going to be brown, green, gold, black. They're going to blend in really well to the environment where they're from. But an albino snake like Prince, which this is a genetic color phase that can happen in the wild, not very often, but it can happen in the wild. But if an albino Burmese python hatched out in the wild, they would not survive very long, right? Because he's like a neon sign. He's not camouflaging from anybody, right? So you aren't going to see a lot of albino Burmese pythons slithering around in the everything. Now, once a Burmese python reaches these lengths, they're considered an apex predator. There's not really a whole lot of animals that are going to try or can predate upon a large snake like this. Okay? When they're youngsters, there's a lot of things that like to eat Burmese pythons, but not when they reach sizes like
Gators.
this.
Gator.
Now, that's not to say that snakes don't make good pets. This type of snake just doesn't make a good pet. Now, the reason it doesn't make a good pet is because of the sheer size. Okay? So Prince is not done growing. Like I said, they can reach much longer lengths, and they can get much larger than Prince. So he is not done growing. He has a very large enclosure, and your typical homeowner does not have the ability to care for a snake that gets to these sizes. But that's not to say, like I said, that snakes don't make great pets, because there are several species of snakes out there that do make really great pets. It's just our job as responsible pet owners to make sure that we've done our research and have a snake that would be more
The big
acceptable
noodle.
pet. Now, do any of you guys have oh, I forgot. I know. How many of you have heard that snakes like to eat kids? You're laughing, but it's true, right? I know that some of you have heard this,
Yes.
because that's the reason that people are afraid of snakes. They don't want a snake in their house and they think they're going to eat you, right? Yeah, I know you guys have heard that. Well, that is not true. And I'll tell you, they are too big. Even the smallest audience members out here today are too large to be a meal for this animal right here. Snakes don't want to eat anything that's much larger than something about 2 to 3 times the size of their heads. Okay? So if you look at Prince, he's hiding his head. Maybe Laura can show off his head. Ta-da! All right.
Hey.
Prince doesn't want to eat anything that's much bigger than his head, right? So Prince likes to eat rabbits. That's the biggest item that he likes. He doesn't want to eat anything bigger than that. And the reason is because if they eat a meal that is too large for them, they're not actually able to digest it, okay? So snakes are cold-blooded. Unlike us, we maintain a body temperature that is the same all the time.
Wasn't there one that tried to eat a gator?
Snakes don't maintain their body temperature the same way we
I think
do.
there was.
If they are cold, they need to go move into the sun to warm up. If they get hot, they need to move into the shade. So if they eat a meal that's too large, they're going to
Nobody
sit there in
ended
the
up like
sun and try and
exploding or
digest it.
something.
But if it's too large, they're simply going to puke that meal back up, and that's not going to advantageous for anybody, right? No one wants that. So they're going to stick with something that's a little smaller and easier to digest. Because once they have a big meal, they can actually move quickly.
He's like, I want to go.
Look
Look at him, look at him, look at him.
If something's going to predate upon a Burmese python like this, that's the time to do it. Because after they eat a big meal, they can't actually move. So they don't want to eat anything that's large. That way they can still get away from predators.
He's like, fam, I want to go on the ground.
Now at this time of the year, a little bit cooler, a lot of these reptiles will actually stop eating because it's too cold for them to digest their food. Prince, around this time of the year, he tends to go off food for the entire winter, but he doesn't lose a single pound of body weight. Don't we all wish that would be how it works? We eat food for a few months and
Oh my God.
stay the same? Well,
Yeah.
that's not the case with Prince. He will maintain his weight, his body condition for that entire time. It's just another type of adaptation that they have in order to deal with the differing temperatures that they have. Any of you guys have any questions about Prince, about snakes? You guys are snake experts? Woo, yeah.
Yes.
That means I get to hand the microphone off to somebody else now, right? I see a question. Forgive me, these lights are very bright and sometimes it's hard for me to see you guys. All right, what you got for me? Does he have good eyesight? So he does not have very good eyesight. Some snakes do, but Prince's eyesight is not very good. He relies on that tongue to give him a lot of information about his surroundings, but no, his eyesight is actually very good.
He's like me. Can't see shit. No, they can see through like thermal.
How long is Prince? He is about 12 and a half feet long. Now he is not full grown.
He's 3 knees.
Full grown. He is an adult. He's about 36 years old.
He's 3 inches long.
And so he will continue to grow. His growth rate is just
That's
slower
so
now than what it was when he was a little youngster. Now Prince has been with us his entire life. So we have had him since he was a hatchling. And the reason that he is so calm and we're able to do things like this with Prince is because he's very accustomed, very desensitized to being handled. We handle him every day. He has a very good demeanor. And that's exactly what we look for with our ambassador animals. Not only our snakes, but with our birds and mammals as well. I have a question over here. Yes?
What is a snake's lifespan?
So that is a good question too. Reptiles have a very long lifespan. We had a Burmese python that lived to be well into her 40s.
Dang.
Okay? Now, anytime you have an animal living under human care, their lifespan is easily going to double what it would be in the wild.
Yeah, my mom would run
Now,
out
the
of this
reason for
amphitheater
that is
seeing
for different
that.
reasons. Number one, there are no predators here, right? No one's going to be trying to eat Prince here at the zoo, right? Nobody. Number two, if Prince gets sick or injured, we have 4 full-time veterinarians on staff that are going to help make him feel better, help take care of him. And Prince is guaranteed a meal all the time. Prince doesn't have to work very hard for anything. Now, snakes don't eat every single day. I take that back. Some snakes eat every single day, but not this species of snake. Prince eats about every 3 weeks. And it takes about 1 week for him to fully digest 3 rabbits. Yes?
Damn. That's good.
Yes, so certain types of
Don't gotta
snakes
eat every
are
day.
going to be- there's a lot of different types of snakes. So this, being a python, a Burmese python, like I said, a big heavy-bodied snake, he's not going to do a whole lot of moving around. They're ambush hunters. They're going to, well, he's not relying on any camouflage, but in a natural phase, Burmese python would be relying on camouflage. They lie in wait. Opportunistic feeders, when something wanders by that they want to eat, there they go. They got their meat. Other snakes, like water snakes, very, very active. They're eating every day. Okay, they're eating little fish every single day. There are some snakes that only eat eggs. Okay, there are some snakes that only eat frogs. There are a lot of different kinds of snakes, and depending on what type of snake it is will depend on how often. Some snakes are arboreal. Those are going to be the long, skinny guys that move kind of fast. They like to hang out in the trees. They eat birds. Snakes that might live in the trees. But these guys, you're not really going to see a Burmese python in a tree. They're too heavy bodied. They can't, the trees just don't support them. I said more questions. That was a good question. All right, what you got for me up there? What is his weakness? That is a good question too. Okay, so interesting question. Right now at this size, I wouldn't say Prince really has a weakness. Like I said, when
We are
they
his
reach
weakness.
these sizes, they're considered an apex predator. They're
Except
the
for us.
top. Not a whole lot of animals are going to be messing with them. But when they
Yes,
are
except for
little,
us.
when they're
We are his
actually
weakness.
hanging
Yeah,
out
I've been hearing you make you.
there's a lot of animals that might want to try and eat a bird's nest. It might be a raccoon, it might be alligators, other birds of prey, animals like that. Those.
He's very active though. He's like moving around though.
But I guess for this big
Somebody's getting chilly.
I think also the light direct. They put the light on him for a reason.
Yes, that is good. At this time of the year, temperature is a good weakness. That's good. Yeah, so that's a good one. Yeah, this time of the year, the cold temperatures. Anyone expecting falling iguanas over the next few days?
Yes.
Falling iguanas are going to happen.
Yeah.
Cold front coming through. Yeah,
Christmas falling iguanas.
Cold weather.
It's the
Not at
season.
all.
Tis the season for falling iguanas.
Any other questions? This is fun. The snake always brings out the fun questions. Oh, yes. What you got?
It's true.
That's right, yes. He said some snakes open their mouths really, really wide. And
Oh yeah,
that's
the
right.
unhinged
Their
jaws.
jaws are specialized. They can kind of unhinge their jaw so their mouth opens wider than you think it would. So they are actually able to eat items that are a little bit on the bigger side because of that. Good knowledge. Good job. Do it. Get in there. No, don't apologize. Collect questions.
I'm surprised you're not hitting with questions.
Is anything being done about
Or
it?
is it because you're a snake expert?
We're doing our best. But these animals are very prolific breeders. Okay? Like I said, one clutch of eggs from a Burmese python can be about 40 to 60 eggs.
I
So
love
let's say
them.
only half of those hatch out. That's still 20 or 30 new snakes. Let's say half of those get predated upon. That's still 10 to 15 new snakes from one female snake. And we all know there's more than one female snake out there, right?
Yep.
So things are being done. I don't know, again, you guys are all, sounds like you're all from Florida, so you've heard of the Burmese python hunts that they do every year where you can get your permit and you can go and actually hunt Burmese pythons. So there is that. They have, in several areas, they have actually trained dogs to sniff out the snakes. Yep. There are some programs out there where they are putting trackers on the snakes so they can track. They usually track a female because the males will all come to her. So they're actually monitoring these animals' movements to try and find them. So there are, people are trying, really trying to get a handle on this because they are decimating the ecosystem.
Yay, they're putting him down.
Natural balance in the Florida Everglades.
He's like, finally, I'm on the
You
ground.
guys are doing great.
Prince wins.
You guys are doing great, guys. you guys are doing great. So a lot of efforts are being made. It's just the problem is so big and so hard to get a handle on that it doesn't look like it does. But I'm trying.
He's like, yes,
Yeah,
the
right.
grass, finally.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
He's like a macaroni.
He is a macaroni.
Oh, there's some over here. I love it. This is good. What you got?
He said that. I think he just wanted to go on the
Prince
ground.
does not move very fast. The question was, how fast does Prince move? Prince, right now, that's top speed. Pretty sure that if Prince decides he really wants to, these girls can both outwalk Prince. Again, a heavy-bodied snake like this, they're not doing a whole lot of it. They're lying in wait for their prey to come to them. Snakes can go days, weeks, potentially even months without food. So he doesn't have to move very fast. Like I said, that's speed racer.
He's just coiling up.
But there are other species of snakes that can move really
Look at him, look at
fast.
him, look at him go.
Just not Prince.
Spaghetti. Spaghetti noodle.
So Prince likes to eat rabbits. That's his favorite food. Small children. I kid. They don't eat snake. They don't eat children. They don't eat children.
It's okay, your child is
Prince
safe.
26 years old. They can live well into their 40s. Shout them out. I got a lot of questions over here. Yell them out.
Oh.
Prince is about 75 pounds. Females
He actually weighs less than
close
Kaiser.
to about 200 pounds. And they
Kaiser's
can
like
get over
80 something
20
pounds.
Kaiser will be smoked.
Yeah.
And he's
Grace
about
would
12 and a half. How often do they shed? So right now, at this size, Prince is shedding about once a month. But when they're younger and they're growing a little faster,
Thank you. They got him in a nice photogenic spot and he's moving. This dude. Prince like, nah.
Then over the sides.
Does he like bright lights? They don't really bother him. That's an interesting question. So like,
They keep moving him so
he
people can
is
take
not
pictures.
nocturnal. Normally, Prince would be asleep. He's trying to go back to bed.
Oh. He woke him up from nap time.
Okay, so Burmese pythons are actually not afraid of the water. That's a good question. And Burmese pythons are actually very good swimmers. They do very well in water, but he does drink water as well. Not only swimming, he does drink water too. Any other questions over here? Okay, so his strike speed, he can strike pretty quickly, but because we don't feed him live prey, we don't see that very often. He's a little lazy. Yes, and there's a reason for that. So it's not wrong to feed a live prey item, but we don't do that here for a few different reasons. Number one, the biggest one, is because if Prince isn't hungry and he doesn't want to eat that prey item can actually scratch and bite him. Okay? So we don't want Prince to get hurt, but we do want to make sure that he's guaranteed the chance to eat. So that's why we feed out frozen thawed prey items. Any other questions? This side. These are all the snake experts on this side. They know all the things. How about over here? Yeah, look.
He's just going. He's
The
like,
common habitats, they like swamps. And what do we have here in Florida?
so.
Swamps, yeah. That's why they do so well here, because their habitat here mimics their natural habitat very, very closely. You have more questions?
They make it M.
We don't feed Prince every day. Prince eats about once every 3 weeks. Yeah. Can you imagine you only eat once every 3 weeks? Yeah. Crazy. You got a question? He is not a venomous snake. So there is a difference between venomous and poisonous. Does anyone know?
Yeah. One's ingested, one's given to by a bite. Pretty much, right?
I think so.
Okay, close. So venomous means that the animal is putting the venom into you,
By
right?
bite, yeah.
So a venomous snake has the venom glands in their teeth. They're putting the venom into you, right? A poisonous animal means you have to ingest the poison.
Yep, you're
Dart
right.
frogs, poison dart frogs, you would have to lick it.
See?
Because they're not going to inject poison into you. That is the difference between venomous and poisonous. But no, Prince is not a venomous snake. He has teeth. He has about 80 teeth. They're very sharp, and they're recurved, meaning that his teeth point kind of backwards in his mouth. And the reason for this is when he grabs onto a prey item, those teeth point backwards, that prey item can't really pull back. It's got one direction to go, and that's straight down. Yes, we'll get to you in just a second. How long ago was he fed? He was offered food last week, but with these temperatures dropping and getting a little cooler, it's not unusual for them to not eat when it's cold like this because they can't digest their food properly. How many times do they shed their skin? They will shed their skin throughout their entire life. Prince sheds about once a month right now because since he is a larger snake, his growth rate has just slowed down a little bit. When they're hatchlings, when they're younger snakes and smaller and eating more frequently, they do shed more often. Can be as often as once a week to once every other. I'm not neglecting you guys. I can see you all. Any questions over here? No? Hello, welcome, join us. Right now we have Prince, our Burmese python. And it looks like we are going to be saying good night to Prince for the night. Do you have any parting questions for me before I help these lovely ladies carry this rather large, wiggly snake off our stage? You are very welcome, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening here at the Lights and Happy.
Woo! Merry Christmas! Woo! They gotta pick up the big guy now. Or he's just gonna stay there.
Showing?
I think this is the last one.
I'm actually a bit surprised you don't know about venomous and poisonous. Yo, is there... You know everything about it. What's going on? I'm slacking.
I've been slacking lately. I want to see them pick up the snake. 75 pounds. It takes like 2 to 3 people to pick them up.
No, but real talk though about poisons.
Yeah.
They're actually a bit... What I mean by orifices, for example, if some get on your eye, you can go wrong.
Oh yeah, like the spit vipers.